Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Legendary Beatz here from legendarybeatsonline.com. I'm coming at you today with a new tutorial. It's going to be about mixing your beat and mixing vocals into the beat. So it's going to be a quick rundown on actually the mix for the beat, and then on top of that, I have some vocals that from a project that me and my brother was doing, and I'm gonna mix that in as well. We're gonna go over some EQ, compression, reverb, and delay, and you'll be able to watch it live with me. And shout out to Your Hip Hop Beats TV. Thanks for having me every week to put up these videos and being behind me to get these done. All right, so here you see this beat is already mixed. It already has all the effects on it and everything like that. All this, what you see here, is the wave files of an original beat that I was working on, and I exported them and brought them in as waves for higher quality. But here you can get a little preview of it.
Just come away with me, we can escape to a place that's far from here. Do you trust me? Take my hand, take my hand. Yeah. We can fly into space.
Alright, so that's basically it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna take off all the effects, and then I'm gonna mix it right in front of your eyes and you can watch me. Alright, yeah, so we're back. So here you go. Everything is cleared off, all the effects are cleared off. The first thing that I always do when I mix is I take the loudest part of the beat, which is usually always the hook, highlight that off, and then I would mix it from there. So I'll take out the main sound that I want to ride throughout the beat, and then I'll mix everything else around that. So let's do that. Everything sounds bad because it's not mixed, it's not mastered. So right now what we're doing is messing with the volume to push towards a better mix.
We can escape to a place that's far from here. Do you trust me? Take my hand, take my hand. We can fly into space. Away with me, we can escape to a place that's far from here. Away with me, we can escape to a place that's far from here. Do you trust me? Take my hand, take my hand. Yeah. We can fly into.
And I didn't remember to reset the pans, but I always like to, okay, I'll do that a little later.
Away with me, we can escape to a place that's far from here.
So I pan this all the way to the right.
Away with me, we can escape to a place that's far from here. Do you trust me? Take my hand, take my hand. Yeah. We can fly into space. Away with me, we can escape to a place that's far from here. Do you trust me? Take my hand.
it sounds a little clear, and that's only for now we're gonna do okay, so this one isn't this one isn't. So what we're gonna do is oh, let me add in the vocals.
We can escape to a place that's far from here. Do you trust me? Take my hand, take my hand. Yeah. We can fly into space.
All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna now go into each sound and kind of mess with the EQ a little. And you can watch what I'm doing here. Pretty much we'll be taking out most of the lows for like the kicks. For the bass, I try to control the bass. So what I did was I forgot what side chained it to the kick. So every time the kick hits, it cuts down. So I'll work my way up to that. But watch.
Away with me, we can escape to a place that's far.
And this is where I'm gonna sidechain the the bass to the kick. So let me activate that. So what you do is click kick and then let me click that. Usually it's gonna be like this. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn it all the way this way. Then on the bass, what you're gonna do is you're going to add on a limiter. At least this is how I do it. You're gonna hit compression, then you're gonna tune this up to 1. Then what you do is while it's playing, you watch it. Bring this down, the threshold. Bring down the threshold for how much you want it to, cut, and then the ratio. So here you can see the dips. Let me see if I bring it down more. It's probably a bad illustration, but it helps out in the overall mix. It clears out some things, the low end a little bit, so that they're not fighting for the same frequency.
To a place that's far from here.
Now we got the vocals, the EQ on the vocals.
Do you away with me? We can escape.
How I like to do it is simple. Start
To a
off with the
place
EQ,
that's far from here.
take all that out, and then play it by ear a little bit.
Do you away with me? We can escape. To a place that's far from here. Do you trust me? Take my hand, take my hand.
Gotta wait
Yo,
for this up a little.
we can fly into space,
Sounds a little
into
dead,
space,
a little like a box.
Away with me, we can escape to a place that's far from here.
Try this.
Do you trust me? Take my hand, take my hand.
I don't know if you can hear it, but there's like this like muffled low end I don't like.
To a place that's far from here. Away with me, we can escape to a place that's far from here. Do you trust me? Take my hand, take my hand. Yo, we can fly into space, into space.
And that panning helps it sound like it's three different voices, which it is technically.
To a place that's far from here. Do you trust me? Take my hand, take my hand. Yo, we can fly into space, into space, into space. Away with me, we can escape.
And a quick feature is that you could actually drag over presets that you already set up from one track to another by just dragging. Since it's the same type of vocal, same type of frequency. Since the same type of vocal, same type of frequency, I just dragged over this preset and dragged it over to here because it's going to be the same pretty much. Then from here I could just leverage it out and do whatever I want, make the small changes.
Away with me, we can escape.
So there we go.
To a place that's far from here.
Alright, so that was volume and EQ on the bass. Now, there's not much compression that I mess with that much. I don't usually mess with compression. It depends on the sound, and for this beat, I don't really see where I would need a lot of compression. Or none of the sounds are too overwhelming, and it's not jumping up and down too much. Let me see. Maybe this one. Okay, so let's add some compression to that. So on this ARP, see how it's jumping up and down so much? So what we'll do is we add a compression, we set the threshold. Well, no. What I'll do is first, I like to jump with the bigger ratio because it has a greater effect. And then while it's playing, I mess with the threshold to see how, and to go by how much the dBs I want it to drop by. So let me play it first. So it's jumping up between 6 and 12. Whoops. Alright, so add that on. Alright, so it already kind of controlled a little bit. So as you can see, it's now controlling. Before it was hitting up to 5. Now it's just staying between 10 and 12. Let me try something. If I do this, nah, doesn't make sense. What was it, 17? There we go. So now, instead of having that sound jumping up and down in volume, now it just stays you know, in a little realm that you create, a little barrier a little bit, so it helps your mix also sound a little bit more cleaner.
Away with me, we can escape.
A subtle change that helps how you mix.
Away with me, we can escape to a place that's far from here.
So right now that was only, you know, EQ, a little bit of compression. Now all that's left is reverb and delay. Delay mostly will be on the vocals, not that much on any of the other sounds. I'll add reverb on the other sounds. So let's get into that. I'll start off with, what do I want to add a reverb to? The hi-hat and the snare. The cross, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but this is whether it goes left or right. I may be wrong, I may be right, I don't know. I just heard someone say it on YouTube. You know, who can't believe what you hear on YouTube? So I would set that like that. Activated, of course. So for me, what I just learned about is all these features here. So you have bass control, you have decay control right here. It's already set, it looks like, at like 6 seconds or so by itself. But I started to cut off all the bass. This also controls the low end, and this controls the high end of how much reverb, where the reverb is being allocated to. So I kind of don't want it on the low end. Let me take off that snare. So it brought it to life a little bit. Let me see how it sounds for everything else.
That's far from here.
Sometimes the reverb like adds another, either adds more bass, more low end, or sometimes a little more high end, depending on how you do it. And it kind of makes some of the sounds sound different. But right now I like how it sounds right here. It's a little subtle and it's not that overwhelming for the overall beat. So then we do this with the snare. And yeah, like I was telling you, you could always just do this, drag that saved preset over to snare. I wonder if that's in FL Studio 12. I'm not sure. So as I said, so I brought over the same settings, so it brought down the bass. I already took out the bass. This might need more of a, maybe a little bit more low end. You can see it go up here. I think it turned it off.
Away with me, we can escape to a place that's far from here.
I know. I'm sticking with it. Alright, so a lot of these sounds, these ARPs, they kind of come with their own, like, what's the word, resonance, whatever it's called, like their own atmospheric type of vibe to it. So a lot of them kind of have this built-in reverb, kind of, a little bit in the sound. So I won't add no reverb into them just for clarity, because the more reverb and stuff you add on all the tracks is the more low end and the more high end you have to try to mix, and sometimes the less is more. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start messing with the vocals, add some effects onto that. Let's see if the reverb helps out a little bit.
To a place that's far from here. Do you trust me? Take my hand, take my hand. Yeah, we can fly into space, into space, into space. Be with me, we can escape to a place that's far from here.
And then I cut, turn it down.
Do you trust me? Take my hand, take my hand. Yeah, we can fly into space. Into space, into space. Do you trust me? Take my hand, take my hand. Yeah, we can fly into space.
I don't know if you can hear that, but it's like a high end that's carrying with the beat, not the high vocals, but it's like a high frequency. If you do you hear that? Like the reverb is adding like this delay, but it's at a higher frequency.
Away with
Let me see
me,
if I can control
we
that.
can escape to a place that's far from here. Do you trust me? Take my hand, take my hand.
There we go.
Yeah.
That might be it.
Away with me, we can escape to a place that's far from here. Do you trust me? Take my hand, take my hand. Yeah, we can fly into space.
I'll
Away
drag
with
over
me,
this.
we
Save
can
this.
escape
Then drag over this.
to a place that's far from here. Do you trust me? Take my hand, take my hand. Yeah, we can
There. I'll add in some delay.
away with me.
This is where
We
you're gonna
can
see the
escape
delay. Um,
to a place that's
the one that
far
I
from
usually use, I
here.
think, is delay 2. And I think I have a setting. Created a setting
Do
called
you trust
vocal
me?
delay.
Take my hand, take my hand. Yeah, we away with me. We can escape to a place that's far from here. Trust me, take my hand, take my hand. Yeah, we can fly into. Trust me, take my hand, take my hand. Trust me, take my hand, take my hand. Trust me, take my hand, take my hand. Yeah, we can fly
And
into space, into
we'll take off
space,
the
into
feedback a
space.
little.
Trust me, take my hand, take my hand. Yeah, we trust me, take my hand, take my hand.
There
Yeah,
you go.
we can trust me, take my hand, take my hand. Yeah, we can fly into space.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So let me save this as a different name. I guess 2. And then what I'll do is, I'm not sure if I had saved, but yeah, a little similar and a little different at the same time. Each time you mix, sometimes, your ears are a little bit more fresher. You just woke up, or uh, you just hear different things at a different time. So your mix always changes. Sometimes it never comes to be the same, mix when you do it again. But yeah, that's it. So say we went over EQ. EQ'd all the sounds, cut off the lows, messed with the highs a little. We did some compression on the ARPs. I showed you how to do that. And we did reverb on the vocals, a little bit on the hi-hat and the snares. And we did some delay on the vocals. Gave it that nice effect to help give it more body. And that's it. That's pretty much mixing vocals into a beat. And this is the whole project right here. And then you can master it however you feel fit. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for checking out this YouTube video. Be sure to check me out at youtube.com/legendarypromotv. Also follow me on Facebook at legendarybeats.com. Check out my SoundCloud at Legendary Beats. Um, oh, what did I say for Facebook? Facebook.com/legendarybeats. Yeah. And that's about it. Shout out again to Your Hip Hop Beats TV. Stay tuned for more tutorials. Sorry, this one was kind of late. I was kind of sick during the week. I got my hoodie on. I'm still suffering. You know. But yeah, at least I was able to get this out to you guys. And thanks for showing support once again. All right, so I see you on the other side. Peace.